Welcome to Captured by the Light. This is Robert Pears, and I want to share with you a simple rule to help you take better shots. This simple rule applies whether you're using a point-and-shoot camera or a more complex DSLR camera. It's a simple rule, and I believe will help you take better shots. It simply requires you taking a few seconds to look at the composition and planning out how you're going to shoot it. In saying that, never allow this rule to stand in the way of creativity. So how does this rule work? Well, it's the rule of thirds, and it really gives you a guideline to help make your images more balanced and visually appealing. We take the picture and we're going to divide it up, having two lines horizontal, two lines vertical. These lines are placed at the 1/3 and 2/3 line level marks. Here we have our first example photograph, and I want you to look at what are your eyes drawn to. They are drawn to the teddy bear, first of all, and to the flowers. Now, let's look at this picture in light of the rule of thirds. Here I've drawn in the various lines, and you can see they're placed at the 1/3 and 2/3 line mark, and you can see them both vertically and horizontally. And what you notice at the point of intersection, we have the teddy bear. Let's go into this in a little more detail. In this example, which is a dramatic photograph taken in Joplin, you see that the teddy bear occurs at one of the critical nodes. Your eyes are automatically drawn to that node and drawn to that teddy bear. So we've strategically placed and aligned everything to line up with the rule of thirds. Things are off-center and they're more visually balanced. So, highlighting what I just said, what are your eyes drawn to? They're drawn to the teddy bear. Where is that teddy bear? Right on a node. That is a point where two lines meet. And you can see that at the 1/3 vertically and at the 2/3 horizontally, we have the teddy bear placed, and your eyes are automatically drawn. The teddy bear is not in the center of the photograph. Explaining that from the rule of thirds is, again, we want a more balanced photograph. So we've strategically placed the critical points of interest following the line of thirds, ideally placing them right at one of these nodes where these lines intersect. That gives us a more balanced picture that's more pleasing to the eye. Here I have another example, and I have a portrait of a young boy. Where are your eyes drawn to? Now let's look at this picture using the rule of thirds. Okay, here I've drawn in the various lines, and I want you to look again, where are your eyes drawn to? Where are the key nodes? Where are the lines falling? Well, I hope you notice that your eyes are always drawn to a face. And ideally, or realistically, your eyes are always drawn to someone else's eye. And so I've placed the young boy's eyes right close to one of these nodes. His eyes are both at the top third line, and his mouth is at the bottom third. Again, we want a balanced picture, slightly off-center, with the critical points placed close to a node. So what about a landscape? Well, here I have an example of a picture, and I want you to look at where the horizon is. Where is the point of interest? Where are your eyes drawn to? In a future episode, we'll talk about a flow of a picture, but right now I want you to look at the key points of where your eyes are drawn to and where the horizon is. Here I have applied the lines of the rules of thirds, and I want you to look again at the horizon and where your eyes are drawn to in line with these lines and the critical nodes. And now we'll go to another slide and explain this picture in more detail. What I hope you've noticed is that the horizon is at the bottom 1/3 line. In a good balanced picture, you typically want the horizon at the 1/3 or the 2/3 line. Placing it in the center makes the picture look like it's in halves. And we want a more balanced picture, so place the horizon at the 1/3 or the 2/3 line. Now, in this picture, the barn is the center of attention, and it is placed at the 1/3 vertical line, with the door, the critical piece, being placed at one of the nodes. Here's another example, and I want you to look, you're again drawn to the face of the young boy. Where is his face? Where are his eyes? Now look also at the hands and the arms. So you're drawn next to the hands and the arms, and where are they placed? Well, hopefully you notice that the child's face and eyes are right at the node, at the 2/3 vertical and horizontal node. His hands are at the 1/3 line, his arms at the 1/3 line with his hands close to the 1/3 node. Again, we're off center, but it's a very pleasing and there's a nice flow to the picture with everything placed according to the rule of thirds. Here I have another landscape picture, and I want you to see that the fountain, the key focus of this, the whole fountain is placed at the 1/3 line, with one of the particular parts of the fountain being placed at the 1/3 node. Again, the goal is to have a nice balanced picture. We don't place everything at the midpoint, but we've pulled everything either to the 1/3 or the 2/3 line. Here I have another example, and I want you to look in this picture, and what you see is the young boy's eyes, again, are placed strategically at one of these critical nodes. Also, we see that his arms or hands and his mouth is placed at the 1/3 line. So we have the eyes placed perfectly on a node. Both eyes are on the top third line, and his hands and mouth are placed at the 1/3. Off center, but nice and balanced. Here I have a portrait, and I want you to look again. The person is not perfectly line center. We have the face, which are automatically drawn to, placed at the 2/3 line, with the eyes right spank on the middle of that line, and the one eye right at the nose. So again, off center, we wanted a more balanced picture with the face, particularly eyes, being placed at that critical third rule. So what about action shots or videos? Well, we'll cover that in a minute, but I want to say something that sometimes it's okay to break this rule. Again, don't let creativity stand in the way and be bound by this rule. But this rule does apply both to video and to photographs, as well as action shots. Here I have a soccer player, and you notice the soccer player is at the 1/3 line. We notice that her foot is at the 1/3 line. Again, that's what we're drawn to. But we also notice that we've given her room for action. We've given her room to run. If you take time to study video or watch a movie and apply the rule of thirds, or if you study action shots, you will always see that they give room for the action, room for the person to run into. And again, you will notice that the rule of thirds applies in movies as well as in still shots. So my final comment: when you're taking a picture, take time to think about what are the points of interest in the photograph, and where are you intentionally placing those points of interest. In an action shot, are you giving room to run? By applying simple rules, this rule of thirds, you can get a picture that's more balanced and more pleasing for the person watching or looking.